and WKRN.
More American troops arrive in Tuzla as the French issue a new threat to the Bosnian Serbs. The first bi-coastal blast of the season. The country bundles up from Portland to Portland. And the NAACP takes a leading congressman to be its new executive.
From ABC, this is World News Saturday. Here's Aaron Brown.
Good evening. Over the next week, it is Bosnia and the effort to bring peace there that will dominate the news. There is the formal signing of the peace treaty in Paris on Thursday, and following that, 60,000 NATO troops, 20,000 Americans begin descending on Bosnia to keep the peace. In London today, representatives of more than 40 nations met to map out a plan for a peaceful Bosnia, designing a new country from the ruins. Here's ABC's Jim Laurie.
As advance units of American troops continue to arrive in Tuzla in central Bosnia, the world's major powers are wrestling with questions which may prove far more difficult than any military operation. How to guarantee that peace will last and that Bosnia can be rebuilt. The conference in London was meant to lay out a blueprint.
It is intended to ensure that the military's success is not squandered in the months and years after the military leaves.
Among other things, the assembled nations put forth an ambitious pledge to work to make it possible for nearly 3 million refugees to return to their homes and to carry out free and fair elections within a year. But the warring parties in Bosnia could sabotage that process at any time. And the French today again reminded delegates that the Bosnian Serbs have yet to show good faith on at least one key issue. 2 French pilots shot down in August remain unaccounted for. France threatens unspecified action if they aren't by tomorrow. A message taken to Belgrade today by the chief American negotiator.
The 2 French pilots in Bosnia being held by the Bosnian Serbs must be released as soon as possible.
After nearly 4 years of war in Bosnia, where all parties pursued a scorched earth strategy, everything needs a new start. The rebuilding will clearly be painful and expensive. The international effort involves everything from repairing power lines to pumps to setting up a new national bank. An effort that could cost the international community $10 billion, funds that have yet to be pledged. What the delegates here set out to plan is nothing short of nation building, a daunting task requiring money, perseverance, goodwill, and patience, all of which, when it comes to Bosnia, are very much in short supply. Jim Laurie, ABC News, London.
Well, while money and patience may be in short supply in Bosnia, there is no shortage at all of bad blood between the ethnic groups that have been forced to leave their homes one way or the other. The question of how to peacefully resettle 3 million refugees may be the toughest question of all. Here's ABC's Sheila McVicker.
2 months ago, this village marked a front line. Soon, American soldiers will patrol here. This used to be a Serb village, and these were Serb houses. Those people are gone, driven away by a Bosnian army offensive. The new residents are Bosnian Muslims, and at the edge of the village, a new sign. It says Srebrenica. This Srebrenica is many miles from the town that fell to the Serbs last July, the town that saw some of the worst atrocities of this war. Thousands of Muslims were forced from their homes. Thousands were massacred. These people are some of the survivors of that exodus. After months in a refugee camp, Zulfo Memerovic heard there were empty Serb houses here and came to find a house just like the one he had left behind.
It's like the Wild West here. It's every man for himself. If you can't help yourself, you'll end up dead.
Mina Ibrahimovic lives down the road. 11 members of her immediate family are among the thousands still missing from Srebrenica. I'm by myself, she says. No husband, no sons. I have to live here, but I will never feel this is my home, my real home. The peace agreement promises all refugees the right to return home. Mina says she will never go back to the old Srebrenica as long as the Serbs are in control and without a guarantee of safety from NATO forces. In many parts of Bosnia, there are villages like this new Srebrenica, places where refugees are resettling themselves in newly captured territory. Refugees from Srebrenica spend hours studying the map, and their conclusion more often than not is that there is no place else to go.
Ethnic cleansing is something that we did not want, but that's what this war was all about. And if there's no other solution, we will have to accept it.
Zulko Mehmetovic says President Clinton's signature on the agreement means nothing to him. He will never go back, and he won't let the Serbs who used to live here come home either. So this winter, the women are shelling corn planted last season by Serb families. Not returning home is for them a personal tragedy. Ultimately, it will also redraw the ethnic map of Bosnia and make permanent the divisions this war has produced. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, News Srebrenica.
Add to this one more problem. Western governments are worried about the thousands of foreign Muslim fundamentalists, the Mujahideen, who have been fighting in Bosnia. These usually reclusive guerrillas invited cameras into a camp in the hills of central Bosnia, where 200 of them have been training. Bosnia's president has given assurances they will be gone within 30 days after the peace accord is signed. Still ahead tonight, winter slips and slides in a bit early this year. Cyber politics, presidential hopefuls on the internet. And what's in a name? Plenty.
This is World News Saturday, brought to you by Arudis KT.
I just wasn't satisfied with how my headache medicine was working. Then my doctor told me about a medicine called Arudis.
Of all the prescription pain medicines, 82% of doctors surveyed have prescribed Arudis, and now it's available in a non-prescription strength. Potent new Arudis KT, just 25 milligrams is as effective as 400 milligrams of Motrin IB, 440 of Aleve, or 1,000 milligrams of extra-strength Tylenol.
Now I've got Arudis KT.
New Arudis KT, the potent medicine for pain.
Why just decorate when you can deck the halls? Why just make dessert when you can make magic? Cool Whip has 2 grams of fat. 2 merry little grams. So why live a little when you can live a lot?
Presenting the newest Black & Decker Dustbuster and Morgan the Butler. With twice the power as before, this Dustbuster will pick up practically anything around the house. Morgan, the newest Dustbuster. More power, more pickups.
It is a nasty Saturday across much of the country today. From one end to the other, it was cold and it was wet and blowing, well below zero in much of the Midwest, and temperatures well below normal in much of the South. A day to stay indoors, if you could. Here's ABC's Antonio Mora.
It started early this morning and hasn't stopped. This season's first widespread snowstorm made life miserable for travelers in the eastern U.S. Conditions were treacherous on roads throughout the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, and delays were common at area airports. But as Midwesterners found out today, the Arctic air that's following the storm may be even more dangerous. Powerful winds made temperatures feel like a bone-chilling minus 70 in parts of the region. Wind chill advisories were in effect as far south as Mississippi. In Chicago, sub-zero readings prompted the city to activate its extreme temperatures plan to make sure the elderly, disabled, and homeless are safe. Slippery, icy conditions in the Pacific Northwest forced Interstate 26 near Portland, Oregon to close. The ice also stalled city trains and closed Portland's airport for 2 hours. Getting around was so bad, or so good, that you could ice skate on sidewalks, and it's not even winter yet. It didn't matter who you were or where you were, as Senator Robert Dole found out treading through the New Hampshire snow. He had intended to travel to his next campaign stop by plane. He'll play it safe and drive instead. Antonio Mora, ABC News.
Well, despite the weather, it seems on the surface at least that Bob Dole is in an enviable position. Big lead in the polls, lots of money and endorsements. But Bob Dole is the political establishment, and that could be his undoing. If ads were facts, Bob Dole has only one opponent, and it's President Clinton. The attacks are at times direct.
He never delivered.
And at times subtle.
The character and courage to lead America.
If Dole is Mr. Inside, millionaire publisher Steve Forbes is Mr. Outside. If ads were facts, Dole, in cahoots with Senator Al D'Amato, is engaged in an insider's conspiracy to keep Forbes off the New York primary ballot. And shouldn't the insider Dole be held accountable for the horribly complex tax code, which, by the way, Steve Forbes would scrap?
And replace it with a low, simple, flat tax.
Forbes, pouring millions of his own money into the race, sits in the middle of the Republican pack. Not bad for an unknown outsider, a very well-heeled outsider.
His message, his style, his positioning, his non-political message is very similar to Ross Perot's.
And Perot, you'll recall, in his run for the presidency, made the most of non-traditional methods of getting his message out. There were talk show appearances and 800 numbers. Well, yesterday's non-traditional is today's political Model T. The non-traditional campaign methods this year were virtually unheard of 3 years ago. Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
Want to know how Phil Gramm met his wife? How about Bob Dole's favorite food? Or what musical instrument Lamar Alexander plays?
It is all there on the internet, the information superhighway accessible on millions of computers. And this year, every presidential candidate has an address on it called a website.
Dole has the most ambitious site.
Let's open the door and go in.
Okay.
Besides an electronic file cabinet of speeches and press releases, there is a trivia quiz about Dole's life, a way to electronically donate money, computer-generated posters and postcards.
So in 2 months, you've had 1 million hits.
Exactly. And we've had almost 700 volunteers.
And in the process, probably building a really valuable mailing list.
Absolutely. These are people who may or may not have been reached through traditional media and through our traditional outreach.
The goal is to engage and identify potential voters like these who surf the net.
There's a statement from President Clinton on Bosnia. I think that's pretty impressive.
The candidate's message is out there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, anywhere in the world. It's cheap, it's low maintenance, and the candidate totally controls the message.
I can now put out the candidate's message the way that we want to put it out. I can support it with pictures and promotional material, and I can do that for about $1,000 a month.
Democrat Patrick Leahy, known on Capitol Hill as the cyber senator, already has seen a payoff. He's used the internet for a year and a half and says he can now anticipate what his constituents think and want.
I can predict what a poll is going to say just by running through my email for a week.
At least 10 million people have access to the internet, and generally they are the people who vote.
They are college educated, they're affluent, they're overwhelmingly male.
Jeff Eller experimented with the internet in the '92 Clinton campaign.
I think as this thing explodes even further into 2000, the possibilities of what could be used for politics are pretty much endless.
Our government has not lived.
For now, the medium is so new, no one really knows what its impact, if any, will be on the '96 campaign. But with the size of the internet's audience doubling every year, no politician is going to ignore what technology has made easier. Another way of reaching the people. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, a new president for the nation's oldest civil rights organization.
When I was young, Mom was always making sure I ate right.
It wasn't always easy.
Well, now we're listening to our doctors and taking better care of our health with Ensure.
Ensure is recommended #1 by doctors as a source of complete balanced nutrition.
More than a vitamin supplement, Ensure has all the nutrients adults need to help stay healthy, active, be energetic.
Drink Ensure as a meal.
Or in between, Ensure. To your health, Mom.
To our health.
Ensure, recommended #1 by doctors.
Finally, great popcorn from your microwave. Power Pop. Presto Power Pop Microwave Multi-Popper. Power Pop. Pops virtually every kernel. Pop with oil, pop without oil. Nothing pops like Power Pop. That's why it's endorsed by Orville Redenbacher. Power Pop. From Presto, here's a great big idea.
Salad shooter.
From Presto, professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity and power. Special blades to point and slice thick, slice thin, shred, even ripple cut. Right where you want.
Salad shooter.
From Presto.
Lots of people think they can't get their prescriptions put into the sunglass styles they really want. Now at LensCrafters, we have these new sun centers. We have Ray-Ban, we have Guess, hundreds of pairs, and we can put prescriptions into almost all of them, even the latest sports styles from Belay. We're LensCrafters. The glasses are ready in about an hour, and my customers go home happy. I love what I do. I help people see better.
Sunglasses are a great holiday gift. Put LensCrafters on your shopping list. LensCrafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time.
Discover the feeling of Fixodent Fresh. A stronger, longer hold, a more secure, fresh approach to wearing dentures. And the fresh sensation gives you the confidence to live life without limits. Try a fresh approach.
Out in Canyon City, Colorado, helping people is always in season at Sonny's Ace Home Center. And during the Ace Holiday Happening Sale, your local Ace can help you save on all your holiday favorites. That's why Ace is a place with a helpful hardware folks.
It took 15 months, but the NAACP got a new president today, Congressman Kwesi Mfume. He was elected during a special meeting, and he is already promising big changes. Here's ABC's Sheila Cast.
In choosing a 5-term congressman and former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, the board of the NAACP is counting on his political skills to restore stability to the nation's oldest and biggest civil rights organization.
We have high hopes of working to turn the association around, to see that it becomes stronger.
Make no mistake about it. There will be change. It will be swift, it will be focused, and it will be constructive.
Change is needed. The NAACP has had no CEO since it fired Benjamin Chavis 15 months ago after he used its funds to settle a sex discrimination lawsuit against him. The organization is coping with a $3 million debt and with critics who say it has lost its voice, especially since it played no role in the Million Man March organized by Minister Louis Farrakhan and Chavis. But Mfume intends to reach past all that to black Americans.
I say to you in the clearest of terms that it is all right now to come back home to the NAACP.
In an interview, the new CEO was asked whether he intends to cooperate or compete with Farrakhan.
I anticipate coexisting. I don't think that there is an absolute lock on leadership because the African American community is not and has never been monolithic.
Mfume unofficially begins his new job right away as a volunteer. He will resign from Congress in mid-February to head the NAACP full-time. Sheila Cast, ABC News on Capitol Hill.
In Salt Lake City today, Utah's Republican Representative Enid Waldholz arrived home to prepare for a news conference on Monday. The Justice Department is investigating how she and her husband Joe Waldholz used campaign funds. But today, her own party announced some of the findings. Utah Republican Party leaders told reporters that when her husband was the executive director of the state party, he pocketed checks made out to the organization totaling $1,400. Another embarrassment for the Navy, this one involving a married 2-star admiral who had an affair with an enlisted woman. Rear Admiral Ralph Tyndall, a 35-year veteran, has been found guilty of adultery, conduct unbecoming an officer, and sexual harassment. He was stripped of 1 star, fined, and in a highly unusual move, confined to quarters for 30 days, house arrest. Tyndall requested early retirement. Officials say the punishment reflects the Navy's intolerance for officers who abuse authority. When we come back, the battle over Medicaid, how one state is finding its own answers.
Holiday gifts from Hunt Club are always in good taste.
We're doing holiday colors, trimming more vests, doing cozy sweaters, looking our best.
Casual clothes from Hunt Club make great holiday gifts.
JCPenney,
The value leader.
doing it right.
JCPenney opens early Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for your holiday shopping convenience.
These vegetables are about to be perfectly steamed, like food has never been steamed before, in the Black & Decker Handy Steamer. Because deliciously steamed food requires perfect timing.
For a conquest like this, you need the cushioning and support of a walking shoe and the nerve to look down. Easy Spirit. Inside's our walking shoe, outside's the whole world.
When I was young, you and Mom made sure I ate right.
Well, you were my little girl.
Well, today we're listening to our doctors and taking better care of our health with Ensure.
Ensure is recommended #1 by doctors as a source of complete, balanced nutrition.
More than a vitamin supplement, Ensure has all the nutrients adults need to help stay healthy, active, be energetic.
Drink Ensure as a meal.
Or in between. Ensure. To your health, Dad.
To our health.
Ensure, recommended #1 by doctors.
You know, there's nothing more fun than a vacation at sea. You can lounge in the fresh air, visit romantic ports, enjoy fine dining, great shows, pampered service. I love it here. There's so much to do.
Holly, Hal, hi, Kathy.
Hi, Richard. What are you doing here?
Having the time of my life.
Yay!
If my friends can't see me now.
Take a 3, 4, or 7-day vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
I love this ship.
President Clinton used his weekly radio address today to say again he will veto any budget that cuts too deeply into medical care for the poor, Medicaid. Republicans want to reduce the growth of Medicaid by $163 billion while giving each state more power to decide how to spend the money they do get. States experimenting with ways to make their health care dollars go farther have found that two things are true. The choices are tough, the solutions elusive. From Oregon tonight, ABC's Carla Davis.
What Oregon set out to do is reduce the number of medical treatments covered by Medicaid in order to increase the number of people eligible for benefits. Now every family under the federal poverty line automatically qualifies. Overnight, 130,000 more Oregonians were entitled to medical coverage.
Let's go.
Lila Moore was one of them. A mother of 3, she had been on welfare for years, largely because of the medical benefits it carried. Now, under Oregon's new plan, she can afford to get a job that pays only $4.90 an hour because she's guaranteed medical coverage that once kept her dependent on welfare.
It's a lot easier knowing that if something did happen, God forbid, that I could get them help when they needed it. I mean, it's a necessity for me, and you have to have medical when you have kids.
Providing the Moore family coverage, though, meant taking some benefits away from others.
This commission is perpetuating the current inadequate health care system in Oregon.
18 months of heated public hearings resulted in ranking nearly 700 medical services. Treatments for pneumonia, appendicitis, and prenatal care are near the top of the list and are covered. Breast reconstruction and treatment for fatal diseases are rated low on the list and are not covered.
The whole concept here, of course, was to prioritize services, to make the most important services available to more people.
And this has been achieved. Despite adding 130,000 more people, Oregon now spends 10% less than the national average for each person on Medicaid. There have been other positive results as well. In the first year after the Oregon Health Plan took effect, emergency rooms saw a 5% decrease in the number of visits. That's nearly 50,000 fewer people seeking the most expensive kind of care. And there's more. Hospital charity care decreased 37%. Bad debts to hospitals are down 14%. And last year, the state welfare roll shrank 8%.
Over a 4-year period, just the reduced number of people on welfare is going to save us $100 million.
We don't let people die on the ambulance ramps in this country because they don't have health insurance. What we've done in Oregon is we've got people out of the ER, we've treated their illnesses early, done preventive care, and avoided very costly acute care medicine.
Even some early opponents, including advocates for the disabled, have been won over.
Oregon's done it, I think, in a real sensible way. It just takes constant vigilance to make sure that people's rights aren't being violated, that people aren't being denied access to important treatments.
But while the state celebrates its Medicaid success, there are still 400,000 working people here who earn too little to pay for private insurance, but too much to qualify for the Oregon Health Plan. An indication of just how difficult it is to achieve universal health care. Carla Davis, ABC News, Portland.
When we come back, playing the name game.
The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover has a unique cup-shaped brush head that removes plaque more effectively than a manual toothbrush, leaving your teeth so clean you can feel it. The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover cleans better than a manual toothbrush.
Are you taking chances without a calcium supplement? It could take 20 years to find out. By then it may be too late. Which one should you take? Oscal. Oscal's tested and proven effective in clinical studies and doctor recommended for pennies more a day. Don't take chances. Take Oscal.
Joy is not like a pie. The more you share it, the bigger it gets. This is the fabric of our lives. This is cotton.
Sunday on Brinkley, investigations in Washington. Senator D'Amato points the finger at the Clintons and Whitewater and a face-off over the troubles of the Speaker of the House. Sunday.
Well, it's not often that a kid from nowhere gets to meet his real-life idol, but it happened this week to 12-year-old Massimo Cusano when he met super tenor Luciano Pavarotti. It happened in Vancouver, British Columbia, and the youngster made the most of his meeting. And that was after Massimo had been turned down for an autograph. Some seek autographs for the pure joy of it, but these days, many seek autographs for the money. And there is plenty of money in autographs, enough to make a pretty fair living if you know where to look and don't mind rejection. Here's ABC's Brian Rooney.
So can I call you back in a while?
It's Thursday night in Hollywood, and Alfie Pettit is checking his sources.
Any celebrities here tonight? I don't see anybody. Not tonight, huh?
He moves from one restaurant to another, searching for stars.
Clint Eastwood, Gina Davis, Paul Hogan. You know the ones, yeah. Pretty happening people.
Down on Sunset Boulevard, James Brown was seen going into a restaurant. Pettit pulls out some pictures and waits for the godfather of soul.
It all depends on who it is and what kind of mood they're in, how much they've had to drink, how good the dinner was.
Alfie Pettit makes his living, about $150,000 a year, he says, collecting autographs and selling them through his mail-order catalog. For most people, buying autographs is a lot easier than getting them the old-fashioned way. Your chances of finding anyone to sign an autograph for you on Hollywood Boulevard are about as good as they are in downtown Omaha. The autograph hounds can get it for you for a price. A Courtney Cox, she's got a hot television show, sells for about $95. A signed Gregory Peck photograph gets about $150. For some celebrities, the whole practice can become tiresome.
It's not the greatest custom in the world if you're doing it.
And he doesn't even sign them all himself.
This one is done by Carol Rydell. It says, "Best wishes, Clint Eastwood." And this one, it says, "Best wishes, Clint Eastwood." It's in the hand of another of Clint's secretaries, Betty Endo. I'd say 85% of all the celebrity autographs in the market are fakes.
Even when the star puts it in concrete, a couple of masons clean up the signature. Back on Sunset Boulevard, Alfie Pettit closes in on James Brown.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for wanting it. It's a pleasure. 6 altogether.
And what's that worth to, do you think?
$195 a pop.
Not a bad night.
Not a bad night.
And not a bad business either. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Hollywood.
That's World News Saturday. Tomorrow on Good Morning America Sunday, an interview with the new president of the NAACP. I'm Aaron Brown in New York. For all of us at ABC News, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. From Steven Spielberg.
He's stealing second!
Very violent sport, isn't it, baseball?
Robin Williams, Julia Roberts, and Dustin Hoffman as Hook.
What do you want, old man? Just you.
No movie delivers more action. No adventure delivers more fun. Steven Spielberg's Hook, tonight at 8, 7 Central on ABC.
Sequential port fuel injection, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, dual airbags, AM/FM cassette, and a price that's really moving. The 1996 Chevy Camaro. If you think it sounds good here, just imagine what it sounds like on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Friday through Sunday at Nashville Municipal Auditorium, millions of